I can't argue with that if you're going to do the work for me. All I got to do is read. I can read. Right? Oh. Kimmo, good to see you, Miss Dang. Triple OG, I see you. Dubs World. Between you and them clowns. Uh-oh. There goes Instagram. Instagram's going off. Stony Tony. I just seen Stony Tony's name is in here. Is he in here? Stony Tony does be tearing it up. I'll give him that. Boom. All right. All right. Well, we're going to get straight to the point. We're going to get over to EBK Family Collective. Boom. Here we go. This is just for a little preface. EBK put this video out earlier today, a couple hours ago. But basically, what it talks about is some of the paperwork that has come to the surface since Gunners Collective decided to smear American Cholo with fake paperwork. Decided to run with this fake paperwork and smear the man as an SO and everything else. And then I don't know that it was necessarily that, but it was that. And then his apologies are trash. He's just not a genuine dude. He's just genuinely not coming across in any sort of genuine way towards his people. And I think this is getting to be not just towards his people, it's getting to damn near be from everybody. Because if you go look at his videos, he put out a video today. Last time I checked, it had 3,000-4,000 views and no likes. Or not no likes, no comments, right? So he's removing all of the comments. It's basically 95% of the comments are getting removed. I don't know how many comments you get on a 3,000 view video, but you get some. You know what I mean? 50, 60, 70, something like that. He's getting 2, 3. So he's clearly removing all of these. And it's just been one bad move after another, and you can't always do that. Sometimes you got to leave the comments because sometimes you could be wrong. Sometimes the things that you do, maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right. You got to leave them out there, man. And you got to see what people say. You got to see what comes back, And then sometimes it's garbage, sometimes it's not. But we're going to get over to EBK's video real quick. Never mind the intro. The intro's funny.
This was bad moves. Those things were going to catch us slipping.
What's good, gente? It's your boy Conejo, man. And as you guys can see, oh yeah, it's another paperwork day, right? We all seen most of these papers, right? But especially because I do have them on the community post. But this is another section of the paperwork, right? Where it pretty much gives you what the victims were saying. They will be referring to the victims as witnesses because that's when they were pretty much giving their statements. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, man. So if you do, make sure to hit a like for your boy. Make sure to subscribe and do all that good stuff, right? But I am going to do something out for you guys so that you guys see that I'm not so much of a bad person, right? Since your boy Conejo's not going to be reading this, but he encouraged other YouTubers, right, and other channels to do this for him, and just give me a shout out. That's all I ask for, right? But
so there you go. So now let's get over into this paperwork. I'm going to describe it since nobody can see it. If you'd like to zoom in or whatever, take a screenshot, that's fine. But for the people who don't want to, here we go. I'm going to cough real quick. All right. We have the California Youth Authority Fred Nellis School on Whittier Boulevard. Everybody kind of knows this one. It's kind of a famous one as far as YA is concerned. Okay, we've got 4 crimes here laid out. All right. Victim 1, or no, we've got, attempted murder assault, attempted battery assault, attempted battery, assault and battery, assault and battery, assault and battery, attempted murder assault. That's what it is. All 4 of them. Let's see. These all pertain to different people. We have victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, and victim 4. They are not named. There seems to be a code that's, I don't know. I'm not going to try to decipher the rest of these codes. But it says source of activity, which is going to say what's going on here. On September 4th, 94, S. Avalos Arturo, YA, Youth of YA 63992. So this is their YA number, I'm guessing, something like that. launched a physical assault which resulted in 4 victims sustaining injuries. The attack consisted of Avalos utilizing 2 weapons, a flat metal object with sharp edge held in his other hand, a sock filled with rocks which was swung in a circular motion and injured multiple victims. A second suspect Ward, Mata Victor, YA 69087, also acted spontaneously by using a sock which contained batteries. So these are 2 dudes. They right away, or they seem spontaneously attacked somebody. Now, the claimant here is that Gunner is victim 2, V2. Now we're going to get to that later, what links Gunner to V2. But, so as victim 1 and victim 2 were standing by their lockers, Avalos, along with Mata, 2 guys who attacked people, began to physically attack the victims with weapons. Victim 1 sustained 4 puncture stab wounds as he fled away from the locker area. Then as Avalos and Mata began to attack victim 2, they're saying it's Runner, Runner began to walk backwards towards staff office. Mata then dropped his sock and ran towards the day room to blend in with the other cats. Okay, so wards, that's what they call them. They call them wards. Apparently, that's what, I'm guessing that's what YA cats are called, is wards. I never made it to YA, only juvenile hall in California. I did a lot of juvie time out here, though. Day room to blend in with other wards. Victim 2 ran behind, then ran towards the day room to blend in with other wards, and victim 2 ran behind Mata. Why would he do that? That's weird. Okay.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to read it myself, but I will point out some things where it points out so that you guys are able to find it a little bit better. And for the people that are just hearing this, man, I highly apologize, right? Your boy Conejo won't see the light. You know what I'm saying? He'll get clowned on, and you guys know how that goes. So I hope you guys like this video. But like I said, I will be pointing out some things for you guys so that it's a little bit easier for you guys to find those things.
Okay. At this point, so now it says, so this is where we're at now. The attack has just happened. One of the bulldogs, or one of the dudes who attacked, is now trying to blend back in with general population. But it seems to say that Gunner did too. That Gunner was trying, it said Gunner followed him. Okay. At this point, let's see. Avalos had swung his sock at number 4. Okay, so now they're going after victim 3 and victim 4. Gunner was 2. Allegedly, right? We're going to find out. Hitting him in the head area. As 2 other wards, V3 and witness 2, so there's just some dudes who are just witnesses 2 maybe, ran toward Avalos to distract him from assaulting other wards. Victim 3 sustained puncture wounds to the top of the head. As 2 other staff on duty utilized chemical agent pepper mace to contain Avalos. After Avalos was handcuffed, I can't say what that says. It looks like it says staff. Staff something stated he had a cut to his right. That doesn't say. I don't know who they're talking about there. Stated he had a cut to his right hand. I don't know if that's a staff member or who that is. The 2 it looks like it says STATH, and then the rest is blacked out. I don't know about that one. The 2 suspects, Avalos and Mata, affiliate themselves as associated members of the Fresno Bulldogs street gang. And the victim, V1, V2, and V3, are identified as Northern wards. So, okay, so V2, who they're saying is Gunner, is has been identified as a Northern ward. I'm guessing that means a YA cat from up north. I don't know what that means. Let's go to the chat. See what that means. Let's go. If anybody knows. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? A Northern ward. It says the 3 victims have all been identified as Northern wards. Do I have anybody who was in YA in the chat that can tell me what a Northern ward is? I have a feeling it's just like a Northern Mexican, just like you would say a Northern Mexican in jail. If you were like, what's that ride? That's the Northern Mexicans. I have a feeling it's the same thing. Northern ward. Can anybody isolate that for me, what a northern ward is? Ryan says it's a ward of the court from the north. So now, we know that victim number 2 is a ward of the north, ward of the court from the north, right? So he's a northerner. I'm guessing that's what that means. I'm not 100%. But if somebody wants to prove me wrong on that, prove me wrong on that. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. You can, because I know nothing about YA. So you can prove me wrong. That's fine. But okay. So, whoop! I just pulled my headphones out. Bam. All right. So let's get back to these. Are identified as northern wards due to their place of family residency. This attack was unprovoked, according to the victims, and a way for Fresno County Bulldogs to establish their own institutional gang identity as Central California. So, yes, it does. So their family, due to their place of their family residency, so these are clearly Northern Mexicans, right? Victim 1, Victim 2, and Victim 3. Okay. All right. Victim statement. Victim 1 was interviewed on September 13th, 1994 at Madison Cottage office gave the following statement. Went to the locker area. Program had ended and began to take off my shorts to put in my locker. Then demonstrated that he was in a squat position, taking off his shorts to place them in a floor-level locker. Just then, he felt the impact of being hit on the right shoulder area, then stated he stood up and looked over his shoulder to see what hit him when he observed Avalos raise his right hand as if he was going to stab him. Victim blank stated he began to run away from Avalos into the hallway. Victim blank stated at this point, Ward somebody ran in to protect him from getting hit again and saw Avalos swing a battery pack at Ward Richards. Blank stated that his neck and shoulder area on his right side felt bruised, then noticed he was bleeding from that area of his body. Victim 2, this is who they say runner is, was at Madison Cottage's office on September 13th, 1994 by Lieutenant Sandra Cerna, investigating officer, gave the following statement. Now that's another way that we can check this. Does anybody know whenever Gunner was in YA? Has anybody ever checked that? Was Gunner in YA in 1994? That's another way to line this whole story up. Has he ever actually said when he was in YA? Right? Because especially in that building, in that particular building, in YA, in that building, that's exactly when. And, well, he said he was there with WAC 100, right? When was WAC 100 there? Gunner says he was there with WAC 100, but WAC 100 says he don't know who the hell he is. Okay, Father Tomato says he was released in 1997. So, how long did Gunner do? Does anybody know that? How long did Gunner do in YA? If he did over 3 years, that puts him there in 1994. That's another way we can isolate this story. You know what I mean? Isolate a through line through this story. Amigo. Boom. What up? Yeah, everybody hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Boom. He says, I just put a video out on him. He said he was there since 91. So 91 to 97. So we know that Gunner was there in 1994. Okay. Now, we know that a northerner, 3 northerners got attacked at the building where he was, because I've heard him say that he was at Nellis before. So now we know 3 northerners got attacked in the building where he was in 1994. Let's go from there. Let's keep reading. Okay. Victim 2 statement. Victim 2 stated that he had bent down to take off his shirt and place it in a locker, and he heard some noise and saw Arturo Avalos swinging a metal object at victim, I'm guessing 1, with his right hand, and held victim 2 with somebody else with his left hand. Avalos was swinging his right hand like he was trying to stick. At first, looked like he was in one of the victims. At first, looked like they were in shock. Then they tried to get away. I stood up and Mata began swinging a battery pack, and it hit me in the right shoulder. Excuse me. Mata drew his arm back, and I hit Avalos once to get away from victim somebody. I then saw victim somebody run. It's weird how it keeps. They must have named him. It must have named him in the statement. Huh. I wonder if we can do something with that. Because that's what they're doing. Think about this. Think about this with me. Think with me, guys. And tell me if I'm wrong here. Okay? So in this statement that Gunner's giving, or let's say Gunner, in theory Gunner's giving, they're actually naming the people. Boom, boom, boom. Right? These are the actual names. It doesn't say 1, victim 2, victim da-da-da-da-da. Okay? And the reason why, I know why it's for classification purposes, because this whole thing exists under victim 2 statement. So you don't want to get in here and start calling people victim 1 and 2, because then things get confusing. So you're calling them by their actual name. I wonder if we can isolate these names. By length. Boom, boom. I bet you that and that name's the same. Okay, here we go. Off down the rabbit hole. Here we go. Back on track. Pay attention. Avalos was swinging his right hand like he was trying to stick. At first, like he was in shock. Then he tried to get away. I then stood up, and Mata began swinging a battery pack, and it hit me in the right shoulder. Mata drew his arm back, and I hit Avalos once to get away from him. Then I saw someone run away from Avalos. Victim somebody took small steps because his gym shorts were at his ankles. I then turned back towards Mata and Avalos, who were both swinging the battery packs at me. Mata and I continued fighting as we were moving towards the hallway between the staff office and bathroom. Then at this point, Mata dropped his battery pack sock on the floor. Mata ran back to the day room, and I ran behind him until Mrs. Lewis... okay, let's go from here. Let's go back to EBK.
As you guys were able to see on the last page, I did point out where it was talking about victim number 2. We all know victim number 2 happens to be Gunner, but apparently Dubs was trying to cover up for him, right? But as you guys can see, man, when it comes to these black and whites, your boy Conejo is always going to be someone that brings these things to the light, right? And hopefully, man, there's no black and whites on other individuals that happen to rock with old boys, because we already know, man, one comes out on Megan's Law, one comes out, yeah, I mean, there's so many things, man. But at the end of the day, man, they want to play the victim role, and people want to be like, man, well, what's going on, man? Look, here's the black and white so that you can see, and you guys already be knowing. Where it says right here, victim 2, that's referring to old boy. And where I pointed that little finger, it says this is where they gave the following statements. So you're going to be able to see like exactly what was said and everything. So I do encourage you guys, man, to put pause and read this, you know.
All right, here we go. So now remember, so far, that's where we're at. We got 3 Northerners attacked by Bulldogs in Fred Nellis in 1994 when Gunner was a Northerner in the same building. Let's go from there. Grabbed me and I went down to the floor next to the office door. I was on the floor next to the office door and saw Mata run to the other side of the day room and went down in a squat position. Then I saw Mata remove his t-shirt, white t-shirt under his blue shirt, and wipe his face with it. And he was talking to the ward who was on the floor lying down, as staff was giving all wards instructions to get down flat on the floor. I was on the floor for about 2 minutes and noticed that I had been bleeding from my forearm above the wrist. As staff got control of the group, YC Goodwin along with GS Struthers were escorting Avalos, handcuffed, out of the first van, and I was being escorted out to the second van. Avalos called me by my gang name, Skinner, and told me, fuck your dead homeboys. And I said, I got you. I got you. Until GS told him to shut up. Now, Skinner. What do we know about Skinner? Good looking out, my homie. Hell yeah. What about Skinner? Huh? Who knows about Gunner's hood name being Skinner? I've heard it before. I've heard it several times. Because now, if we've got 3 people, or we've got 3 North Daniels attacked in Fred Nellis in 1994 when Gunner was in the building, and one of them was named Skinner. And the last time I checked, Gunner's old hood name was Skinner. So what are the odds of that? I mean, right? What are the odds of 2 Skinners in the same, 2 North Daniel Skinners in the same building at the same time? Right? What are the odds of that? I was the first cat in Central California. Right? Yeah, let's get them likes up, my friends. Get them likes up. Tap in with Culture War Vultures, please. Every Wednesday and Sunday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, where me and Vegas Prison Stories talk about the craziness in the world. Boom. Father Metal, good looking. Boom. Yeah, smash the like button. I'm just saying, well, we got kind of a through line here. Unless this fool's gonna somehow argue, because I ain't never heard him argue that his name ain't Skinner. We've heard him say that before. He has said that. He agrees they call this fool Skinner. So, he calls him Skinner. There was a Norteño on this paperwork in YA in 1994 that got attacked by the Bulldogs and told on the Bulldogs, and his name was Skinner. And this fool's name is Skinner. He was in, and Gunner's name was Skinner. He was in YA in 1994, and he's a Norteño. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, then we'll work from there. Okay, here we go. Avalos handcuffed out to the first van, and I was being escorted out to the second van. Avalos called me by my gang name, Skinner, and told me, fuck your dead homeboys, and said, I got you, and Shill GS told him to shut up. Victim 3 was interviewed on September 12, 1994 at Madison Cottage Day Room by Cerna, gave the following account of the incident. After staff, Mrs. Binns gave the group in the day room instructions to go down to the dorm area. I went to my bed area, number 42 short wall. Then a few minutes later, I heard staff tell the wards to get down as they were walking towards the locker area. As I sat up and looked towards the locker area, I saw Arturo Avalos stabbing someone in the neck and shoulder area. I saw Avalos swinging his right hand with a weapon. The weapon was a blade about 5 inches long. Avalos had his left hand back like he was trying to hold him down, swinging his right hand with the weapon. Then Blank stood up and began to back away from Avalos, and I saw Avalos stab Blank on his right arm and his lower back by his thigh. Then as Blank took off running away, blood began running down his shirt, and I noticed that his gym shorts were around his ankles. Then Ward Blank said, that's a homeboy, and ran towards the locker area. During the same time, Avalos began to run towards the bed area meeting ward. I got off my bed, put on my shoes, and I also went to the middle of the dorm. At this time, Avalos had a battery pack in his right hand, and a weapon was now in his left hand. Avalos began to swing the battery pack at Ward. I saw Ward extend his left arm out as the battery pack wrapped around his arm, then tried pulling it away. Avalos as he dodged the weapon. Avalos was swinging. Avalos pulled the battery pack away. Blank began to mace all of us. Then I saw Avalos as he began to come towards me. I then pushed Avalos away as he was still swinging the sock. Avalos lost his balance. He swung the battery pack, making contact to my head. I then put my head down to avoid getting hit again, dodging the battery pack. As I began to lift my head, I felt something push my head back down. Then my head felt numb, so I shook my head because I felt like I was going to pass out. As I looked around, I saw spots of blood all over the floor. I looked at Ward Blank. He was bleeding. Then I touched my head and my hand, and I realized I was stabbed and that I was bleeding. Okay, let's get back to EPK.
I also pointed out right here where it says Skinner, you know, because this is something that people might want to cover up, like, oh, that wasn't me. Nah, bro, well, that's your placazo, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. But like I said, I do encourage you guys to be putting pause and reading right through everything. But at the end of the day, I will point it out so it's a little bit easier, so that you don't have to go through all the hassle and all that hard work, right? In all reality, man, it don't matter how old boy wants to put it, right? If he wants to become victim number 1, victim number 2, victim number 3, victim number 4, which he is victim number 2, but if he wants to become victim any of the other ones, right? Well, we got a simple solution and a simple answer. They all ratted. And this is where we're going to get into that whole mystery, right? Because as you guys can see, man, it's going to start talking about the victims. And they're going to be giving their whole little statements that were given to the correctional officers or counselors. I'm not quite sure how the program is run in YA. Because me personally, I've never been there, you know. But I had some real ones that have been there. And they always been able to keep it 100 with your boy, man. And that's something I can highly appreciate. But as you guys can see on these things right here, man, all of them ratted. And this is what they told the suspect, man. And you can also...
My bad. Just realized that was what you call. So this is what we got so far. We've got, this is a statement. This is paperwork from the California Youth Authority, an assault that happened in the California Youth Authority. So we know Gunner was in Nellis whenever this happened. We know from this paperwork that 3 northern Mexicans were attacked during this incident. Gunner was a northerner in the building at the time. One of the northerners that told, victim number 2, it says in the statement that his gang name is Skinner. And that is Gunner's gang name. That is not a common gang name. That's not Bayaso. It's not Baya or something like that. You know what I mean? That's Skinner. How many Skinners you know? I know one. I know a Sureño named One. And that was just, they called him that because that was his last name. That's the only reason they even called him that. 1994. Yeah. Skinner. So we know Gunner was in the building. We know Gunner's name was Skinner. Like he said, his placazo, his gang name was Skinner. We know Gunner was in the building. We know an attack happened in the building. We know a norteño who said his name was Skinner was one of the victims who was attacked and who told. This is what we know. Anna, good to see you. Let's get back over to this. So, victim blank stated that he was walking towards I think this is going to be victim 4's statement. Okay. Victim 4's statement that he was walking towards the dorm when he saw blank being attacked by Arturo Avalos and Victor Mata, both wards. Avalos and Mata were swinging a sock battery pack each. Mata dropped his sock. Some batteries rolled on the floor. All of the other wards who were coming down in the dorm area began to back up as they were trying to reverse the movement back into the day room to get away from the mace that staff was spraying. At this point, I got pushed by someone. I don't know by who, but I fell backwards into a trash can. Avalos swung the battery pack and it left dust behind like it had dirt rocks in it. Then Avalos swung the battery pack a second time and it hit me on the left side of my forehead on the hairline. I then jumped out of the trash can and began to run to the day room with the rest of the crowd. I got hit a second time in the back of the head. Once I got into the day room, I fell over and stood and just laid there. I told Ward Blank that my head was hurting. Next thing I remember was that I woke up on the floor and the nurse was holding me, putting water on my face, trying to wake me up. I was then transported to the infirmary and stayed there for observation. Okay. This is all them all agreeing to talk. Let's see.
Also see what he replied at the same time when it comes to the aggressors. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Hey, that's what I was saying too. That's what he said. Let's hold back and get it. Let's get into that real quick. Let's get into that. Let's make sure I read that right. Homeboy was trying to get away, dog. He said this fool was fucking me. Hold on. I think he was in the trash can, dog. That's what it said. Hold on. Okay. As I was trying to get... Okay, let's see. I don't know about who, but I fell backwards into a trash can. And they were in front of me fighting fist to fist with Mata. As I was trying to get out of the trash can, Avalos swung the battery pack, and it left dust behind like it had dirt or rocks in it. Then Avalos swung the battery pack a second time, and it hit me on the left side of the forehead and on my hairline. I then jumped out of the trash can and began to run to who had it bad. He got cracked so bad the first time that he ended up in the trash can, and then whenever he jumped out of it, he got jacked up too. Wow. Yeah, that fool got the rough end of it. Oscar the Grouch looking at his trash can. You're the only one cussing? Who cusses like that? What kind of grown person cuss? What kind of grown person spells like that? Come on, bro. It's called a GD. He jumped out the trash can. Barry Wood in the house. She said she knows two Skinners. She said there's Skinners everywhere. Okay.
Maybe one day I will have this person come on a live, man, and give the actual story of what happened besides the whole black and whites. But this is something that everybody wants to push for and wants to see, right? So like I was saying earlier, for all these other channels, man, I highly encourage you to react to this, make a video about it, and put old boy on blast so that he knows what time it is. Because at the end of the day, they like to get their clown on with other individuals that have done that in the past, right? But as you can see right here, man, who is the rat? And this is where it gets interesting, right? Because it's going to be talking about witnesses. And these witnesses happen to be the victims, bro. You know what I'm saying? So the witness one statement would be one of the victims. Witness two would be the other victim, which I believe that's going to be Gunner, to be quite honest with you guys, right? Because he starts talking about some of the issues that were brought up in the statement that I had pointed out on the last video. So it seems like this is the individual, and if you pay close attention to what he says, he gives a lot of information, bro. A lot of information. I don't know if this fool had a camera while he was in there or what the hell, but he gave so much information that the cops didn't really need him to go to the stand. Just with the statement alone, he got those bulldogs locked up, and that's fucked up, man. But at the end of the day, man, as you guys can see right here, was in there or what the hell?
We'll go right back to this one right now. Boom. All right. So now, witness 1 on September 4th, 10:50 p.m. Blank was interviewed at Madison Cottage. I was sitting in the day room. Let's see. This is all the same stuff. Let's see. Witness 2. I just walked over to my bed area when I heard a lot of commotion around the locker area. As I looked up toward the lockers, I saw Avalos attacking one of the victims. Avalos was swinging a gray state issue sock with something in it. In his other hand, he had a weapon. Then was jabbing in the back. Blank was trying to get away from Avalos. On the other side, I saw Victor Mata, also swinging a battery pack. As witness Blank began to run towards victim Blank to help him, Avalos began to swing a battery pack, sock as a weapon, at me and had a shank in his other hand. Avalos swung the battery pack and it hit me in the shoulder. Then Avalos, swung a knife towards me and I moved back and realized that he had a shank. Avalos dropped the shank, and as he bent down to pick it up, I tried to kick his hand, but Avalos still managed to pick up the shank. Then I punched Avalos twice. It did not seem to affect him. Then Avalos swung the battery pack with his right hand, so I ducked. Then I saw him swing with his left hand with a shank weapon, and as I ducked again, Blank came from behind, and I got shanked in the head. I remember seeing blood all over the floor. Has he ever talked about being shanked in the head in YA? Has he ever mentioned that in any of his stories? Being shanked in the head? Who does statements in lock? What? What's derogatory? What are you talking about, Sean? What's derogatory? El compa? I'm seriously curious. Why is everyone so obsessed with that about all the content people can make? Why does it... I think this is my second video about him. Maybe third. It might be third. Yeah, well, because he went crazy. He made the news, bro. That's what happened. That's why everybody's making videos about Gunner, because Gunner made the news. Oh yeah, Buster is. That's what the Sureños used to call him. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But Buster is kind of Buster's a disrespectful term anyway. If we're gonna be honest, it's always been a disrespectful term. It's a term that means whenever somebody leaves one hood, goes to another. It's blockbuster. He says he has a scar from being shot by a 40 cal point blank. Call him bullshit. I don't know. I wonder if he got shot in the head with all that. You know what I mean? Let's see.
The hell, but he gave so much information that the cops didn't really need him to go to the stand. Just with the statement alone, he got those bulldogs locked up, and that's fucked up, man. But at the end of the
okay. See, this is witness 3, witness 4. This is just more of the same. Yeah, it's more of the same.
The day, man, as you guys can see right here on these images, this fool was a foul ass mother. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but they all ratted though. So, however, Dubs wants to clear it up for his old boy. Old boy ended up ratting at the end of the day. So, all credibility that he did have at one point, right, with this whole little stories that he put a hell of tapatio on, right, as we all see. I think, as a matter of fact, that fool wasted the whole bottle. I don't even think he has any left over at his pad, man. He's gonna have to go for some bottles of Valentina, and you already been knowing, man. He has to mix it up a little bit. But all these 4 victims, they ended up ratting. It was only 2 aggressors, which I was really like what the hell? You guys ratted? And even though you guys were the majority, like that shit puts me in shock. But shout outs to the homies that were in this, right? Shout outs to the Bulldogs for keeping it solid, homie, and keeping it G. But as you guys can see right here, this is gonna be the...
Okay. Here's the last piece of paperwork. What do we got? Witness 5, special incident report, was submitted on September 4th, 94. At about 8:30 p.m. as wards were being released from day room to the dorm and room wards were secured in their rooms, staff had locked their doors. The wards assigned the short wall bed areas were sent down and a fight broke out among several wards. It was difficult to identify anyone by name. Immediately turned towards the day room youth counselor to stop sending wards. As blank and blank youth counselors directed their attention to the incident in the dorm, I continued to supervise the day room. I noticed as Ward blank ran out of the dorm back into the day room, I detained him by the office. Weapon, 5.5-inch flat metal sharpened edge with torn t-shirt wrapped handle. Fred C. Nellis evidence locker. Blank was randomly assaulted due to being in the vicinity of where the attack took place. 3. Picture of puncture wounds.
Last page that it has on that report. So like I said, man, I encourage you guys to read it. It'll tell you exactly where it was at. It'll tell you about the weapon being a 5.5-inch flat metal sharpened edge. You know what I mean? So it gives you all that information of what was said, and now you guys can see why certain videos were taken down, because he knows that this is something that is gonna be getting brought up. So he wants his viewers not to be able to see it. But if you haven't seen that video, I do have it up. If you look for that video where I'm talking about American Cholo and letting them know, like, I got this, man. This fool, I'm going to get him with some real black and whites. So I recommend you guys tap in. It is a long video, and towards the end, I did kind of mess up, especially because I had to bring that video out since old boy wanted to smut people up. But with all that being said, man, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, man, hit them likes, subscribe, hit that follow, all that good stuff, right? You guys already been knowing I highly appreciate every single one of you guys. And I'm going to be putting a little clip so that you guys can enjoy, man. So with all that being said, this is your boy Conejo, and we out.
You know, or to me, I just feel alienated.
Let EBK tap in. No. He has his own platform.
Anyways, I'm out of here, man. Respects to everybody.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to sleep. Fuck them.
Órale. Here we are.
Oh, hell no.